On this episode of Signature Taste by Jelian, it is all about the sandwiches. We're going to take some classic sandwiches, make some signature sauces, and bring it all together. Are you ready to create your signature taste? So now we're going to go ahead and get started with our first signature sandwich. And that is a grilled chicken on pita with a homemade tzatziki sauce, or known to some as a cucumber sauce. It's extremely simple, and sometimes it goes on a sandwich like a gyros. And some people say gyros, some people say gyro. Doesn't really matter, but here's a very simple way to get great flavors at home with your own tzatziki sauce. So what I have here is some plain Greek yogurt. I need 1.5 cups. Y'all know I hate measuring, but I'm gonna go on ahead and do it so we can get this recipe right. Make a mess too. All right, that's 1 cup. Get it all out of there. Now, I need 1/2 cup. So that is a total of 1.5 cups of Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. So I have my cucumber here. I have an English cucumber because we don't want the seeds that come in the regular cucumber. We'll cut it off a little bit, and I need a grater. So I'm gonna get a grater. I hope. Here we go. All right, so, and what I have is a cheesecloth. You can actually use a napkin because what we need to do is squeeze out all of the juice from the watermelon. So I'm going to grate some of this cucumber. Some of that. I think I want a little bit more. So I would say 1/2 of a cucumber, an English cucumber. Now I'm gonna take this over my sink and I'm gonna show you something. You see this? Squeeze it all out. Really, really good. Now you take this cucumber right there. Nice, fresh. Get rid of your cheesecloth. I got some minced garlic. Use a tablespoon of that. Some olive oil. I got a nice olive oil for this one because you're really going to be able to taste it. So that's 2 tablespoons. There we go. I need lemon zest and a lemon. Got my zester back here. We're gonna zest some lemon in here. There we go. Now I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna squeeze it upside down so I can catch the lemons, but I'm also gonna have my hands open so I can catch the seeds. But I'm also gonna have my hands slightly open so the juice can go through it. Give it a good squeeze. Catch the seeds now so you don't have to worry about it later. All right, I have dill, fresh dill. For this recipe, you cannot use dry dill, okay? It doesn't work, I've tried it. And I want a nice amount of dill. Move all this stuff out the way. Just a nice little chop. I think I can go for a little bit more dill. I love the flavor that it gives. salt and pepper. Clean up as I go. A little bit more. All right, gonna give this a mix. You can smell the dill, the lemon, the cucumbers. Nice, pretty. Got that garlic in there. Very, very simple, full of flavor, and it's great on this grilled chicken on the pita that we're gonna do. So I'm gonna clean this up, and then I'm gonna get out our chicken so we can get prepared with that. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and get started with our grilled chicken on a pita. What I have here is a clean, boneless, skinless chicken breast. I covered my chopping board with some saran wrap because I'm gonna cut it, and then I'm gonna pound it out. So I'm gonna cut this in half. There you go. I'm gonna cover it. And I have a mallet. Now, if you don't have a mallet, use a small pot. And be careful. So I'm gonna bring this in a little bit so nothing falls, and I'm about to pound. Now I know what you're asking yourself. They already have skinless, boneless chicken breasts in thin cutlets. However, the reason why I do this is because now I can control the amount of meat that I'm gonna cook. So I can buy this pack, split it in half, freeze half, and use some for sandwiches. And this kind is actually cheaper than them pounding it out for you. So I choose this method. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my fire on. A nice medium heat. I'm gonna take my first chicken breast. I add some pepper. Some salt. And I have some dried herbs. What I have here is Italian seasoning, basil, and a little bit of oregano. I love the way the herbs kind of gives this chicken a nice flavor, and it goes very good with the tzatziki sauce. Just a little. And a little dab of olive oil. There we go, get that around. Now my grill pan is hot. I'm gonna go with a little bit of olive oil here. Grab some tongs. I'm gonna place this cutlet seasoned down first, and I'll season the other side in the pan. If I can grab it, because it's so slippery. There we go. Let me season the other side. I got my herbs. Some salt. Some pepper. A little bit more olive oil. So we're going to let this cook through on each side for about 7 minutes. I'm not going to touch it because I want the great grill mark. Then I'm going to flip it and let it finish cooking all the way through. But before we put it on our sandwich, we're going to let it rest. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook. Get the rest of my cutlets started, and I'll be right back to start on our second signature sandwich. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get started with our second signature sandwich, our Philly cheesesteak sliders. What I'm going to go ahead and do is get my skillet on. Or not, because it might be empty. There we go. Alright, so I have this on a medium heat. I am going to add a little bit of oil. and 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna let that melt. So what I have here is some boneless beef ribeye steaks. I'm gonna take a sharp knife and just slice it as thin as you can. Now, some grocery stores have thinly sliced beef already for you to use. If you cannot find it, you can get you a steak. It doesn't have to be a beef ribeye. It can be something like a little skirt steak or a thin top sirloin, and just make sure you cut it thin. And the key to this recipe is do not overcook the meat. All right, so let me show you a slice. So this thin little slice right here is going to work just perfectly for our Philly cheesesteak sliders. Couple more slices. All right, wipe my hands, and I'm going to get a wooden spoon. Here we go. All right, so I have some diced onion. And some diced bell pepper. If you wanted to use a red or a tricolor pepper, it's fine. It gives it a sweeter flavor. So we're gonna go ahead and let this cook down some. And I'm gonna finish cutting this steak. I'm gonna take all this and put this away. Give my hands a quick rinse. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna check on my onions and peppers. So everything is starting to get tender. I'm gonna add some salt and pepper. Give this another stir. All right, we're gonna let this keep going. Now for our Philly cheesesteak sliders, what I have is some sliced provolone. Provolone is classic in the Philly cheesesteak, and it actually works great. I'm gonna grab a few of our slider buns and a tray that I've already lined with some foil. So you can get like some Hawaiian rolls, some dinner rolls, whichever ones you like. I like the Hawaiian rolls because it gives a sweet offset to the Philly cheesesteaks. And I'm gonna get a serrated knife, the knife with the ridges on it, and we're gonna cut these in half. Now leave it close to the top so then that way you don't have a problem trying to find which top goes where. Alright, so I can smell my peppers and onions. And they are nice and tender. So now is where we're going to add our steak. Just dump it all in there. Put that up. And give it a good mix. So we want our steak to turn brown, but not charred. All right, we don't want to overcook it because we've already cut the steak into so many pieces, and we want to kind of get it as evenly cooked as possible. All right, I'm going to come back with some more seasoning. Some more salt. Pepper. I have a little paprika. Give this another stir. All right, so I'm gonna finish cutting up my buns. I'm gonna let my meat get cooked to let everything get brown. And when we come back, we'll go ahead and complete the sandwich. All right, so we have our beef that has already browned. And we have this nice little sauce, and we got the onions and peppers. And I've cut up all the Hawaiian rolls. So now we're gonna go ahead and place beef on each Hawaiian roll. And don't be stingy either. It smells so good. And my boys love this. Put this here. There. It's okay if a little bit of the juice gets on the bread. It's no big deal. And so while the meat was cooking, what I did is I melted about 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And I got some minced garlic, and I put it inside of the butter. Because we are going to put this in the oven and let everything get like melted and all the flavors marry in a nice bite. Now, if you didn't want to make sliders and did the traditional sandwiches, you can still do the same thing. Just swap out the bread. It's not a big deal. Just more sandwich. Okay, and I think I got one more nice scoop here. Make sure everybody got some. Okay, there we go. I have my provolone. Put a slice on each one. I just cut it into wedges so it can fit on each sandwich. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and do double. Because they love the provolone cheese. This is also good for like parties. If you have company over for the game and you want to make something cute and fast, it doesn't even take that long. You can do a chicken with some pesto, some mozzarella. You can do shredded chicken with barbecue sauce, a nice coleslaw. So many things you can do with this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and top my sandwiches. Make sure all the meat stays on. So give it a little smush down. It's okay if it gets smushed. Push it. Yeah. Okay. Get this going. Almost. All right, so my melted butter and my garlic. We're just gonna brush the top of the bread with it. You won't stay down, will you? Great. Dun, 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 dun. I get so excited about these sandwiches. I can make a platter of these, sit them out, the boys grab and go. My husband always gets mad because they never leave him any. All right, so we got this garlic flavored melted butter right over it. Just a little cracked pepper to finish. And I'm gonna cover it with some foil. Put it in the oven, 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. Let everything marry, get nice and cheesy, and we'll have our signature Philly cheesesteak sliders. Now, we still have a couple more items left, and one of them is an old school tradition. Can you guess what it is? I'll let you guess. I'll put this in the oven and we'll get started on our third signature sandwich. All right, so for our third signature sandwich, we're making shrimp and catfish po' boys. So before I get started with our sandwiches, I'm going to start with our classic remoulade sauce. A remoulade sauce is something that's very common. It gives you a creamy and kind of tart with a kick of spice to go perfect on your po' boy. All right, so now, right here, already in my bowl, I have about a cup of mayo. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of pickled relish, a tablespoon of Dijon, I'm going to do 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic. There we go. Worcestershire, that's next. About 1/2 tablespoon of Worcestershire, or Worcestershire, however you want to say it. Some hot sauce, a couple dashes, a little bit more, and 1/2 of a lemon. Give this a cut. Squeeze it flesh side up to catch the seeds. Okay, got that, and I'm going to use a pinch of Old Bay. A little bit more. There we go. Give this a mix. Alrighty. You can make the remoulade sauce right at home with all of the ingredients you already have in your cabinet. Now, I strongly suggest that you let this sit for about 30 minutes before you use it because you want all the flavors to come together. Alright, so I'm going to put this to the side and I'm going to go ahead and get started with seasoning my fish. And clean up a little bit. Get all this out of the way. And don't need this. Alright, what I have here is some small catfish fillets. You can go small, you can go big, but I kind of got a plan. I want 2 of them on one sandwich because I love to eat. And so I have a couple of catfish fillets and I already have some large peeled deveined shrimp right here. All right, so I'm gonna go back with my Old Bay. I have some cayenne, just a little. I have some garlic powder, not salt. And I have some Spanish paprika. Go back with a little bit of pepper. And I'm gonna give it a mix. Okay, so I'm gonna let this hang out. I'm gonna get my batter started, get my cast iron skillet hot, and when we come back, we are going to fry some fish. All right, so I got my cast iron nice and hot. I have my canola oil in the pan and it's hot. I have some buttermilk here, so I'm gonna dip fish in the buttermilk, and then I have some cornmeal that I seasoned with the same seasonings that I seasoned the fish with. We want the seasonings to go all the way through. So we are battering this up. Make sure all the pieces get coated. We want a very crunchy skin. All right, put that in there. There we go. So I'm gonna repeat it. Coat it. And I'm going in again. Okay, I'm gonna grab a couple of shrimp and do it next. Don't worry about your hands being all messy. It's gonna be worth it in the end. Make sure it's all coated really, really good. Couple few. Yeah. There we go. Now be careful, because if any moisture gets into your oil, it will pop and it hurts. Take it from me, don't try it on your own. All right, clean my hands. We're gonna go ahead and let this golden brown on both sides, and then when I come back, we're gonna put our sandwiches together. Wait. Oh, we're not. I forgot one more thing. We'll do that, then we'll put our sandwiches together. I'll be right back. All right, so now that we have all the components for our 3 signature sandwiches together, we're gonna make a signature cocktail. We're gonna make a royal peach fizz. What I have here is some peach crown royal. And so I'm gonna put 2 ounces in each glass. That's 1, 2. All right. I have some mango juice. And I'm gonna do about 1.5 ounces mango juice. There we go. And for the fizz, we're gonna do some champagne. Drop a couple cubes. And give it a whisk. Absolutely delicious. So, okay, we have our signature drink, and now we're gonna go ahead and bring everything back together to create our 3 signature sandwiches. All right, so now we are going to go ahead and put together our chicken on pita. I'm gonna go ahead and let my pita toast in this pan. There we go. And here's our beautiful grilled chicken breast. You see all the grill marks, all the seasonings, everything. So I'm gonna give this a slice. Nice thin strips so it can fit on the pita. Now this chicken will also be good for salad, pasta, if you just wanted a grilled chicken sandwich, period. You can do whatever you want with this chicken. And I think that should be enough for this sandwich. Okay, got that up there. Give this a taste. Oh my God, those dry herbs are phenomenal. Give my pita bread a turn. Now for our po' boy, what I have here is some French bread. I am going to put some lettuce down. And I'm going to get a knife for our remoulade sauce. Take a nice amount of that and just spread it right here at the top on all of the flavors. I have some tomatoes already sliced. I'm gonna put that down. And I'm gonna grab some shrimp. Just place your shrimp on there like such. Do a little squeeze of lemon, and that is our po' boy. I'm gonna grab this pita bread right here in the center so you can see. Here's some chicken. A little bit of lettuce, tomato, some onion, and a spoon for our tzatziki. So I don't know about you, but this sandwich day is coming together fabulously. I don't know which sandwich I'm gonna eat first, but what I'm gonna do is finish making these sandwiches and put them all together so we can go over our signature tips. All right, so here are our 3 signature sandwiches. We have our Philly cheesesteak sliders. We have our shrimp po' boy. We also made catfish, so we can also do it with the catfish. And we have our grilled chicken on pita. And we have the fresh tzatziki sauce for our grilled chicken, and we have our remoulade sauce for our po' boy. All right, so here are some signature tips. For your Philly cheesesteak sliders, you can replace the steak with chicken and make a chicken Philly cheesesteak slider. For your po' boy, you can actually deep fry some lobster tails. It works great. And for your grilled chicken on pita, if you didn't want the chicken, you can kind of do a few other things with it, but I would strongly suggest doing some braised lamb, right? You take a leg of lamb, braise it down in some white wine, shred it up, and put it right on the pita, and you have your homemade gyros with your homemade tzatziki sauce. Now, I'm hungry. I've been cooking for a while, and I am starving, and I'm sure the boys are too. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them a call, but before I do, I'm gonna grab a bite. When you do it yourself, don't forget to add your signature taste. Boys, lunch is ready!